Hello, welcome. Glad you could join me today on this presentation. Metro Public Adjustment is a second generation company of public adjusters. What we do is we try to make sure that homeowners as well as business owners know what they're insured against and also know how to use that insurance policy should damage occur on their property. So what I'd like to do today is go through a presentation on what it is that our marketplace is, how a public adjuster operates, what is actually covered in your typical insurance policy, and then the person that invited you will actually go through your insurance policy directly and take the principles that we've learned here in this presentation and adapt those to your actual policy. So the goal for this is really an education. What we want to do is make sure that you understand what your insurance process is, the dangers of handling a claim on your own, because it is fraught with danger. You don't know the language, you don't know the processes, and the insurance company will use all of that against you. We also want to know that if this in fact is a valuable process, that you can share this with other people and help others that you may know and help them also provide the right kind of compensation when they have damage. Some people like going through quizzes, and most people I've found don't know the answers to many of these questions. There are multiple types of homeowners insurance. There's multiple types of commercial insurance, depending upon whether or not you are owner occupied or whether or not it's used solely for commercial purposes. A lot of people don't know what's covered on the policy. They know they've got personal property, but what personal property is covered? And if it's covered, how much is it? And how will that be determined? What is the value? What is your deductible? Is the deductible a similar item as it is in car insurance, or is it a little bit different? Most of these questions are not easily answered. And what I hope to do is answer some of these for you during this presentation and have the rest of them answered during your specific insurance policy review. So what we do is we will help clients get treated properly and paid fairly for their insurance claims. We've been doing this for about 25 years. Our owner is a guy named Steve McCaffrey. He's a vet of the Gulf War. And when he got back from the Gulf War, his parents had a claim on their house. And they weren't treated as well as he thought they should have been treated, nor were they compensated as well as he thought they should have been compensated. So he undertook the process of understanding what a public adjuster is and started the company to help others who had the same situation. A typical loss is represented here, where you've got a homeowner who has had water damage through a wind and rain event in their home. They noticed the water leaking into the master bedroom. It damaged the carpet, it completely saturated the carpet, caused this water stain here on the ceiling in the dining room, and then caused this cupping of the wood, which is where water gets into this seam here and actually expands the wood fibers and decompresses them. And that causes this cupping of the wood where the wood goes up on the sides. The homeowners cleaned it up the best they could, and then they called their insurance company. The insurance company came out and said, well, you've had damage on your roof, and it's only a couple of shingles, but what we're going to do is we're going to repair a full square of shingles so that this won't happen again. And a square, for those that don't know, is a 10-foot by 10-foot area of the roof. So that's the minimum that a roofer will have for repair work in order to get a professional on board. So they want to make sure that a professional does it. They're going to do drywall repair in the bedroom to make sure that that area where the moisture was near the fan is replaced. They're going to spot seal and paint that ceiling with one coat, and they'll tape and protect the fan. They also know that when you dry that carpet, it could still smell. So we're going to clean and deodorize that carpet to make sure that there's no lingering odors associated with the damage. In the dining room, they're going to spot seal and paint the walls and ceiling, and then they'll give you some compensation for the cupping of that one piece of wood in the dining room. Obviously, it's very difficult to get a floorer in just to work on that one piece, but if you choose, you can take that monetary allowance that we give you to sand and stain it yourselves and to bring it back to pre-loss condition, or you can put a carpet over it, whatever you'd like to do. But that's how the insurance company is going to more or less settle this claim. We look at it a very different way. We recognize that you really can't patch a roof. The roof has to be replaced, that portion of the roof. So we are going to suggest that the entire elevation, that whole side of the roof, be replaced. In the bedroom, you have insulation that's between the attic and the bedroom. That got damp, and it will no longer insulate. So that has to be replaced. And then that carpet in the bedroom, when it gets wet, the bottom of it will delaminate. The backing delaminates, which means it rips and tears apart from the top of the carpet. And so it needs to be replaced. Its useful life is significantly damaged and needs to be replaced. If you're going to do all of that, then you also have to move the bedroom furniture. So all of that needs to be taken care of. The debris needs to be removed. So we need to have a dumpster put in to put the debris in. There's a number of items here that we look at to make sure that the homeowner does not have money coming out of their pocket because of this loss. We're very good at doing that. We tend to get anywhere between 3 and 6 times the compensation for our clients than if they'd done the work themselves as far as trying to process the claim. Smart Money Magazine did a study that showed that 80% of the policyholders accepted the damage estimates of the insurance adjuster without ever getting another opinion. Now, what that meant is that basically they got 25 cents on the dollar for the damage that they could have gotten. We also, with our license, are able to reopen a claim that has been denied. So a claim that has occurred within the past year is recoverable through Metro because our license allows us to reopen that claim. What we do for the policyholders, we evaluate their coverage, and we do this prior to a loss so that they understand what they need to, if there are changes needed, that they can make those changes prior to a loss occurring. When a loss occurs, we document it. We make sure that the policy conditions are met. We do a damage estimate, and we present that to the insurance company properly so that the maximum compensation can be provided to the client per our estimate. We also handle all the back office issues as far as telephone calls, letters that might be required, obtaining experts, helping to get the signatures required for payment, etc. So what does a policy cover? A policy covers typically physical damage that is sudden and accidental and not specifically excluded in the policy. So things that might be specifically excluded might be earthquakes, might be floods, okay? But those are specifically stated in the policy. Otherwise, those perils are covered. So what does this mean to you? Well, it means really any kind of fire that occurs on the property, whether that be a cooking fire or a more extensive fire like this, or whether it be your fireplace popping an ember out and burning or discoloring the carpet. Smoke can be smoke from the furnace, a puffback, as pictured here in the slide, or it could mean smoke from your fireplace, or from a turkey that was overcooked in the oven. All of those are covered by your insurance. Lightning and explosions are covered. Ice damming, which is one of the results of heavy icicles and snow covering, especially of gutters, will cause water to enter the house. The weight of ice and snow can break rafters, and that's covered. A vehicle hitting the house may take the house off of its foundation, and that is obviously covered as well. Windstorms. Anytime wind causes damage, either a tree falling, shingles blown off, siding blown off, any of those are claims that the insurance company needs to cover for you. Rainstorms. Anytime rain enters the house before it hits the ground, it is a covered loss. Hail, tornadoes, and hurricanes are all covered. We've been asked and have responded to hurricanes in a number of different states to help the constituents and the citizens of those states when they've had damage occur on their properties. One of the most common types of losses that we deal with is that of water. Accidental discharge of water. And that can mean children playing in the tub, overflowing the tub and forgetting that it was still running, or the sink. I dealt with a toilet overflow yesterday. Sewage backups, pipe breaks or frozen pipes. All of these are situations where water leaves the enclosed plumbing system and causes difficulties or trouble with the building. Theft and vandalism are covered. Oftentimes, vandalism is a more severe damage than the theft. They may steal a ring, but what if they damaged on the way in and on the way out? It's important that we identify those and get you compensated for that. Eggs on roofs and siding. The egg contains a protein that will discolor the siding, and it can't be repaired. It has to be replaced. And then we do things in our homes that we're not necessarily proud of. Accidents do happen, whether that's spilling bleach on the carpet, putting a grill too close to the siding while it's still hot, or dropping an iron skillet on the tile kitchen floor. All of these are things that happen on an accidental basis, but they are covered by your insurance. This kind of education has its rewards for us in that we have a very high satisfaction rating with our clients. We handle close to 10,000 claims per year, and we have over a 99% satisfaction rate on our claims handling. That's tremendous, and we do this both on a residential as well as on a commercial basis. Our agents or our claims reps are taught how to look at coverage to ensure that coverage is adequate and that the proper endorsements are in place. And these are a list of some of those things that we check on when we do a policy review to ensure that you as a client are being taken care of properly by the insurance company. When we do handle a claim, we handle it on a fee basis. In other words, we don't get compensated unless the client gets compensated. And when we are dealing with a small loss, where our fee is similar to a lawyer at 35%. On larger losses, catastrophic or commercial losses, our fee is at 10%. And that's typically because they're much larger claims and our fixed costs can be handled with the smaller fee. So I hope this has been educational to you. I hope you've learned something here. The next step here would be to finish the coverage review by going through your specific policy. And I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your claims rep who's in front of you. And we do look forward to serving you and to hopefully help those of your friends and neighbors who you have given as referrals to us. We work on a referral basis. That is the critical thing for us. And if you do give us 8 referrals, we can feed 10 families in America in your name. And we'll give you a certificate to that effect. through the Feeding America Foundation. It's a Tony Robbins benefit that we are a party to. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed the presentation.